In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the lower control arm on your Jeep Grand Cherokee located on the rear differential. Using your 19mm socket, loosen and remove your lug nuts. Once you have the lug nuts removed, grab the wheel and set it aside. On our lower bolt here, we're going to use a 21mm box wrench on the nut side. Then we're going to use a 21mm socket on our impact. Let's go ahead and loosen and remove this hardware. On the forward side, use your 21mm socket on the nut, 21mm on the bolt head side, loosen and remove. Remove the bolt, remove the control arm. Now when we removed our control arm, you want to pay attention, the inboard side of our control arm has holes in it. The outside does not. So make sure when you install the new one, make sure that the holes are on the inside and the solid goes on the outside. Go ahead and wiggle our control arm in a position. And feed our bolt through from the outside. Go ahead and get the nut started. Now what we're going to do is you can use a some sort of ratcheting device, ratchet straps or something to that effect. What you want to do is you want to hook it onto the rear differential somewhere, preferably closer to the side that you're working on. And you're going to anchor it further forward on the chassis somewhere, maybe on a cross member that's supporting the transmission or something solid like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and gently pull this forward until the lower holes line up for our rear control arm into the differential. Now this needs to come over probably a good 1.5 inches. When we remove the bolt, it did shift on us. And it does not take a lot to swing that over. All right, now we're going to have a little bit of assistance with someone pulling that tensioner, and we're right there. Back it up just a tiny bit. Put that through, put the nut on. Then we can go ahead and release our ratcheting system. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to use our pole jack, and we're going to compress our suspension all the way up to the point where we have what we call a neutral position. If you're on the ground, you want to go ahead, remove your jack stands. You can have your wheel on, lower the vehicle down to the ground. Once the vehicle is completely on the ground, then you can go ahead and tighten and torque your control arm bolts. You need to have this in what we call a neutral position when tightening it. If we tighten these bolts in its full droop position and then we lower it down, it's going to twist these control arm bushings, causing it to bind, giving you a poor ride, and it's going to cause these control arms to prematurely fail. Tighten up the forward mounted bolt. Torque down the frame bolt to 115 foot-pounds. Torque torque down the rear axle bolt to 120 foot-pounds. Go ahead and lower your jack if that is the route you chose to go. Otherwise, you'd be on the ground already. You already would have had those bolts torqued, and you're all set. Good, grab your wheel, line it up onto the studs, set it into place. We want to go ahead and install our lug nuts. Going to get them all started by hand first. Once we have these all started by hand, we'll come back and snug them down. Torque the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.